Today we're going to focus on the Ten Commandments, okay? And I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit in class before, just a little bit. Everybody kind of knows what they are a little bit, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth and do some cool stuff that we haven't done before. I think you guys are old enough to get a little bit more in depth and talk about some other things. But what I want to show you first is a couple of cool clips from some videos, okay? And you may or may have not seen this. Everybody can see, right? You should be able to hear. Here's one. This one on tape. Don't worry about being on tape. Okay. Oops.
Moses went to the mountain, and God spoke unto him.
Moses, this is the Lord thy God, commanding you to obey my law. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I definitely hear you.
What?
Nothing, you're finished. Forget it. Oh, Lord, why have you chosen me? What would you have me do for you?
I shall give you my laws, and you shall take them unto the people.
Yes, Lord. Lord, I shall give these laws unto thy people. Hear me. Oh, hear me. All pay heed. The Lord Jehovah, has given unto you these 15. Wait. 10 commandments for all to obey.
Looks like Santa Claus. All right.
That's not really. He's 15.
Okay,
He's 10.
so when they're all done or whatever, I'm just gonna film the clip that you show
you'll
them
take
because
them.
you can't see because the demon's head's in the way.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
So
Does God really sound like that?
Does God really sound like that? I don't know. Or you're still taping though, right?
yeah, I
Okay.
haven't touched it.
I don't know if he sounds like that. The only people that know what God sounds like were the people that were there, right?
Why doesn't God sound like what you want him to sound like, since he's not like in your head, he's real, but he's talking to you, and everybody's head makes something sound different because you don't actually know what your voice sounds like.
How do you know to speak?
Exactly. Does that mean like so that means like the voices are in your head and they're not really out here? Like God's talking to you in your head, like reading your mind and telling you what to do?
You mean when this happened or just in general?
Just in general.
Oh,
Well, what about when you read a book, right? Just any
Voices
book,
in your head.
right? You get a picture when you read a book of what you think's happening in the story, right? And you kind of have this picture of what you think people sound like or look like. Did you ever talk to somebody on the phone that you haven't met before?
Yeah.
Right?
I've done that.
And but you kind of get a picture in your head of what they might look like, and then when you finally meet them in person, they look a little different than what you thought. Sometimes. Well, you guys are probably a little young for that. You don't talk to a lot of people you don't know on the phone, right? You're not supposed to do that.
I did it by accident once.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Did you get a picture in your head of what you thought the person looked like by hearing their voice?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I tried to be a really old person.
An old person.
I
Okay.
tried to call my mom. That's so sweet of you to say.
But if you had to picture, guys, if you had to picture then what God would look like just by hearing his voice there, then what would you think he
Big
looked like?
buffs man like John Cena. Or The Rock Johnson.
With a sword.
With a sword.
Have you got a picture? What do you think he would look like?
Yeah, I pictured him looking like Zeus.
With a beard.
Like Zeus? Okay, with a beard.
What did you get a picture? There was a picture on the internet. There's two birds, and they're up here, and then there was a big bird, and it was like a smiling face. And then in the background there was a cloud, and it looked like a smiling face.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty cool.
What about who's got a commanding voice like that you guys would know?
My dad.
Darth Vader, right? You guys ever watch the Star Wars movies?
No.
No? No Star Wars? You know back there?
Dr. Sender.
Dr. Sender. All right. So that's kind of a commanding voice. So let me show you another clip. We're going to talk about this more though. This is good. But I want to show you another clip. Where's my iTunes? Now I know some of you guys haven't seen this. So this is from the movie The Ten Commandments, and it sounds like some of you have seen it, and some of you haven't.
I've seen like the character one. I haven't seen the real person.
Oh, okay, so this one is the Charlton Heston version from a long time ago, like a really long time ago.
The man to the right looks like he's Clay.
And so this is a little bit of a clip. This is what's going on here, let me just tell you, is the people of Israel are waiting at the base of Mount Sinai for Moses to come back. He's gone up onto Mount Sinai, and he's talking to God. And they're waiting for him to come back, and they're very impatient. He's been gone for a long time. He's been gone for 40 days and 40 nights. So this is just a little clip, and then it'll jump right into Moses. But we're going to talk about this too. We're going to talk about this. What they're doing is they're making the golden calf. We'll read about it.
I don't remember that part.
The fake idol. The fake idol that they're worshiping when Moses comes down.
From the burning bush, O Lord, charge me to bring the people to this holy mountain, to behold your glory and receive your law. What have I left undone?
That's cool.
The director's interpretation.
They overlaid the image with pure gold, and Aaron fashioned it and smoothed it with the hammer, ready to be graven by cunning art and man's device. And he fastened it with nails, that it should not move. And he that smote the anvil did beat the molten gold into thin plates. For they had gathered their treasure into the midst of the furnace, and did blow the fire upon it to melt it. And they adorned themselves in rich apparel and costly array, with veils of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen wrought in
Jews
Egypt.
have been in Egypt for 400 years.
Tread
When Moses took them out, there were a lot of people. Yes.
So much more dramatic than the other one. Just big thing of lightning.
And the people sinned a great sin, for they had made them a god of gold. And they bore him upon their shoulders, and rejoiced, saying, This be our God, O Israel.
Are you waters of Moses afraid to face the new God of gold?
They were as children who had lost their faith. They were perverse and crooked, and rebellious against God. They did eat the bread of wickedness, and drank the wine of violence. And they did evil in the eyes of the Lord. And the people cried, The graven image hath brought us joy. And they worshipped the golden calf, and sacrificed
Think of how
unto
different
it.
our religion would be if we had to come here every weekend and worship the golden calf.
The calf was really crazy.
It's a cow. A cow is a calf.
I told you that like baby cow.
Oh. You got me on that one.
Yeah, I did.
It's still a cow. Are they sacrifices? Dude, that doesn't have any legs.
I think the director takes a little bit of liberty. We don't really know if she was laying on top of the calf when we did the story.
That's easy. Yeah.
We're just waiting for Moses to come back.
And start yelling and go mad. Wow. That lady is creeping me out.
That's not weird.
So it took 40 days to do that.
No, there was other things that happened in those 40 days.
It took 2 seconds.
Like what?
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, I get to learn
You're a
too.
good straight man.
Is he done?
Is that fire?
No, it's lava.
And he's putting it out.
It's gonna melt and it's terrifying.
You would think so, right?
His hand's gonna burn.
They would be hot.
Yeah, well, but he's just gonna pick him up like that?
Well, yeah, people are saying it was
Is that in script?
I think they tried to make it look kind of like Greek letters.
Why? They're not in Greece, they're in Egypt.
That's a good question. Maybe some
Because God
poetic
chose him to
license of
take
the
them,
director.
so why they- He won't let him get burned now with people.
The director took all kinds of license then.
Where's the cat? It's right there.
It's right there.
It's a cow. Oh, what?
And the people rose up to play. And did
Yes,
eat
it's a
and
cat. It's a
drink.
type of
They were as the children of
Please.
food,
Yeah.
cast off their
Leah,
clothes.
can you put your Gatorade
The
away?
wicked were like a troubled
It
sea,
makes a lot of noise.
whose waters cast up fire and dirt. They sank from evil to evil, and were viler than the earth. And there was rioting and drunkenness. They had become so
Yeah, where do people just walk around carrying other people like that?
all manner of ungodly and works of the flesh. Even adultery,
Well, what point are they trying to make there? What point is the director trying to make?
idolatry and vanity and wrath. And they were
That they're
filled with
rejoicing.
iniquity.
That they're rejoicing, but they were like,
And
what do you think? What do they look like? They're out of control?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's Moses' mom and dad, isn't it?
Abiram, Korah, fight the sacrifice with the Lord, even unto the horns of the altar.
Since you don't know, that's Joshua. He's waiting for Moses.
Is that Moses'
The
son?
light of God
No.
shines through you, Moses.
Is he the
Throw out the earth to me, Joshua. These tablets of stone. Writing of God. His 10 Commandments. There is a noise of war in the camp. It is not the noise of war. It is the noise of song and revelry.
So Moses is coming back down off the mountain with the Ten Commandments.
So he's
That is the fucking
Yeah. The guy with the white beard, that's Moses.
Nothing but fucking blood is
What's that?
Shofar.
Joshua!